Welcome to another episode of Veterans View, and today we're in beautiful Phoenix City, Russell County, Alabama, what we call the sunny side of the river. We're right across the river from Columbus, Georgia, and today we have our guest with us, Jesse Smith. And Jesse is working with Beyond Expectations, and they're getting ready to do a garden here in LP Stough's apartment. And this is all about feeding the community. So we're going to take a quick station break, and then we're going to come back with Jesse Smith, and we're going to talk about this great project that they got going on in order to feed the community.
As a veteran, you know teamwork. When your team needs help, you're always there. You're ready for any and everything. But asking for help for your mental health and well-being is sometimes not as easy. That's why VA is on your team, to help you take that first step, to connect with doctors, counselors, and other veterans who have had similar experiences. Visit www.mentalhealth.va.gov and learn more about taking the next step.
And we're back with Jesse Smith here and on the sunny side of the river. Jesse, tell us about what you have going on today here with this community garden.
Oh, well, Leroy, thank you for having me, and thank you all for tuning in. Well, basically what we're doing here is I'm volunteering for Beyond Expectation community outreach. And over the years, especially during the time of this pandemic, we noted when we went out to get food to take to seniors, veterans, and persons in need, persons with disabilities, those locations didn't have the food that we needed to take back to our clients. So what we did was we just said we're going to create a garden, and we're going to name that garden Sustain Ourselves Garden. And this is a garden that we're creating to sustain an organization. Beyond Expectation, once again, we provide food resources to seniors, to veterans, and persons with disabilities.
Okay, now, and that's great because, you know, as you stated earlier, during the heavy part of the pandemic, we know that there was food giveaways set up everywhere in our community, not just here in Phoenix City and Russell County, but even across the river in Columbus, Georgia. And people from both sides of the river came to both places to get food. Absolutely. And so I would imagine that even though this food is going to be here, but if people need food from the other side and they get in line, they can get food too.
Absolutely. This is, you know, it grows naturally.
Right.
You know, God's given us the sun, He's given us the rain and this nice fertile soil to be able to produce, and that's what we're supposed to produce. We're supposed to be the people that feed the sheep.
Okay, so in other words, we are our brother's keepers.
We are our brother's keepers.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so since we are our brother keeper and we understand that, and we want our audience to understand that when we talk about a community garden and feeding the people, it doesn't matter where you're from, who you're at. When you're hungry and you want food, come and see Beyond Expectation. And also, Beyond Expectation is a 501c3. So even if you don't come and get food and you want to help Beyond Expectation, you can contact Jesse Smith, Cynthia,
Cynthia
McKinney. You can contact Jesse or Cynthia and make your donations. And even if you just want to donate some time to help in the garden, you can do that as well. But Jesse, now that we've talked about all that, before we go to actually talking about the garden, you mentioned veterans earlier. Tell the people something about yourself.
Well, I'm a former U.S. Army veteran or service member, non-commissioned officer. Got out of the military in 2008, and while in the military, a major part of my commitment was to make sure that I was discharging selfless service, and I was training and teaching my soldiers to discharge selfless service as well. Once I got out of the military in 2008, it was kind of hard to shake that selfless service thing. So here I am in the community, just doing what we do, being selfless, trying to give what I got. I was prepared to give my life for this country and this community. So why not come back to something that I was prepared to give my life for and give a little time to?
Okay, and thank you for that, Jesse. But now I want you to do a shout out for your wife because she's a veteran also. So say a little something about her.
Oh yeah, shout out to my lovely bride. She spent 27 years in the Army. She retired as a captain. She was on the major list. Nonetheless, she's the backbone in the rock, and I appreciate what she brings to the table. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to let her know how much I appreciate it.
And the other thing that I want you to know that Jesse White came up through the enlisted ranks. So he didn't say that, but she came through the enlisted ranks all the way up to make captain. And that's an accomplishment by itself, and that she ended up on the majors list, but she needed to retire to stay with Jesse and keep their son.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Jesse, now tell us how this Rise box is going to work when you're planting food and growing food.
Okay, well, this raised bed garden right here, what we did was we recognized that there was a lot of growth and trees, bushes, and shrubs that grew up around in the area. And so I understand that there are nutrients that are in those leaves and those branches. So we're packing this 3-foot raised bed garden with these branches. We're going to top it off with some of these nice leaves that are on the ground, and then we're going to finish it off with some nice compost, some soil to put on the top, and we're going to have 21 square foot of grow space. We should be able to put anywhere between 8 to 30 plants on the inside of this raised bed garden right here.
Okay, great. And then how many raised bed gardens are you going to have out here?
Well, starting off, we're looking at starting off with 4.
4?
But hopefully by the end of this particular, this summer season, we'll be able to install an additional 4 on the other side.
Now, are we going to put anything in the ground? Because I noticed that you have some tomato vines and stuff. So tell us about that.
Absolutely. We're definitely going to put something in the ground. We're going to put a lot of collard greens, turnips, mustards, things like that in the ground. We're going to use actually 4 to 5 different grow methods here in this garden. This right here is a no-dig garden. Everything in this raised bed right here is above the ground. We're not digging below the soil at all. We're going to use containers as well. I know for a fact that bell peppers grow pretty good in containers. So that's what we're going to do. The bell peppers that we're going to grow in containers. We have pallets as well. We have pallets that we construct and design to meet the needs of particular type of vegetables. We're going to use that as well. Last one, we're going to use raised beds that have legs, and we're going to have seating on it. So if we have senior citizens or persons that are in wheelchairs, they'll still be able to come in and help out in the community.
Okay, so you're helping the disabled out as well by having those what did you call those beds?
They're raised beds.
Raised beds.
Yes, sir.
But they're gonna have a place where they can roll up to it if they're in a wheelchair.
Absolutely.
Well, that's great. And by utilizing the raised beds, we are protecting Mother Earth as well.
That's what we're doing.
So that's great. And you know, I've got a couple of friends actually, that we're going to be doing some cooking classes with for seniors and veterans, so that they can learn how to cook a quick 30-minute meal instead of standing over the stove, even using all of the vegetables that you're talking about, collard
that's
greens.
great.
So I'm looking forward to doing another show with you and the chefs, so that we can show our seniors and our veterans on how to prepare a delicious meal within 30 minutes or less.
Absolutely, and it would be great to add to that, if I may.
You sure?
It would be awesome to allow people to come out and harvest. Before you do that cooking, come out and we go through the appropriate and the correct harvesting procedures. Then you're going from the garden to the table.
Right.
That is where we want to get. We want to try to cut out the supermarkets. We want to cut out all those big manufacturers and begin to go from the garden to the table. Great idea, Leroy.
Okay, and the one other thing that I wanted to share with you is I want to introduce you to my friends at the VA, because this will be therapeutic for veterans. You know, some veterans like to have a pet. Some veterans like to do the garden.
Yes, sir.
So we can bring those guys out, the VA will, on buses with their social worker and work with them therapeutically, and so you'll have help in your garden growing these vegetables. So that's a great thing, and I will gladly, after this show, hook you up with those people so that you can have that extra help that you may not get.
Awesome. That's great.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about beyond expectations and the things that you are doing in the community? Because y'all are doing more than just this garden. You are gathering food and you keep a pantry ready so when people need something, and you stretch from here to Hurstboro. So tell the people something about that. Y'all are just not here.
Absolutely. We have a kids backpack buddy program to go along with what we're doing for senior citizens, veterans, and persons with disabilities. And with this senior backpack program, all we do is we get food for the weekend. The kids will have 3 meals. They'll be packed they're not really in a backpack. It's in a bag,
yeah.
right? But they'll have 3 meals per day for
3 days.
For 3 days.
All right.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's what we do in addition to providing food resources to seniors, veterans, and persons with disabilities.
And I just want to say, you know, in some ways, the pandemic has been a blessing for us, because it pulled us together to feed the community. Because in a country as rich as ours, no one should be hungry.
Yeah.
We should not have anybody hungry as rich as this country is. So I want to thank you, and like I say, this is a blessing for us to have you, to have Cynthia McKinney, who's the head of Beyond Expectation, to do the things that you guys are doing for our community. And I say community, and I mean the Chattahoochee Valley.
Yes, sir.
Is a part of we're all in that one community.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for coming on the show. And again, is there anything else you'd like to share before we leave?
No, I really appreciate everything that you've done, Leroy. I mean, you're kind of like give me the motivation, all of the volunteering, all of the moving around, different places that you be. You let me know that, hey, I need to be moving as well. So I just appreciate you and letting you know that people are watching you, whether you know it or not. And I'm one of those people that are watching.
Well, thank you, and keep up the good work. Keep watching, because we're going to be doing something different every day we get an opportunity to.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you.